Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Sunday evening to you all. Hope you guys have been having a great day and a great weekend as we round off the weekend and make our way to another work week. What we're going to talk about tonight is really what's going on right now in the tropics. There's an area of interest. There's our first area of interest of the 2022 hurricane season, really of the year, we can basically say. And it has a 10% chance to develop here in the next 48 hours. And we say 48 hours. Really, the window of opportunity for this system to strengthen in the Gulf of Mexico is really between now and probably the next several hours, as this piece of energy with the low pressure obviously associated with it is making its way north and was already affecting areas of the Gulf Coast and has been over the last several hours. So that's really what we're going to talk about. Talk about the chance that it does have to strengthen. In fact, we'll look at it on radar scope as of right now around 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we're just going to talk about some things, how this could affect the weather. I'm not expecting anything crazy, but in these kind of situations, when you have a surface trough, we call this homegrown activity. And basically, you can have some crazy things happen in a very short period of time. And all of a sudden, suddenly, you have a named storm. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you just never know. You really don't. But if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. We're getting into that time of the year. Hurricane season is going to slowly ramp up until we get to about late July, and then it starts to really ramp up. So it's kind of a teaser event, if you will. I'm not expecting this to be a named storm, but there is a chance of organization. So obviously, if you guys got anything that I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. So let's talk about it. We can really discuss this from the latest update, 8 p.m. update, even though technically that is future tense as of right now, 6 minutes between right now, this part of the video, and me making it. So this is the 8 p.m. Eastern update, Eastern time update, and really you click on it. And this is the Hurricane Center. Everybody has access to this, the National Hurricane Center site. And let's kind of bring this up a little bit. It has a 10% chance to really become a depression basically here in the next 5 days. But really, this is here in the next 48 hours. It has a chance. In fact, you look at the 2-day, which is 48 hours. And it's right here. And this will continue to drift north. And in fact, we can look at this on the visibility satellite starting to darken because we're starting to lose daylight. But if you feast your eyes right here, you see this little swirl? That is whatever low-level circulation that you have. Now, we've talked about this before, and especially people who've been tuning in since last Hurricane Center season. You need that mid-level circulation also to basically wrap around this low-level circulation, and you don't really have a mid-level circulation. You need them to stack on top of each other. It basically, think of it as protecting home base. It protects basically the heartbeat of these tropical systems. So basically, you have a whole lot of convection displaced from the actual low pressure, that low-level circulation. So therefore, you don't have a whole lot going on. But I will mention, as of right now, think around 8 p.m., you're starting to have convection blow up along this low-level circulation. When this happens, it helps for this low-level circulation to not be exposed to all the other elements. Now, the upper-level winds are not favorable, meaning you got shear in place. It's kind of displacing the convection. So that is why this looks messy, and this is typical of early season tropical development in the Gulf of Mexico for sure. But you look at radar scope out of Mobile, Alabama. Here it is. It's in sight of the radar, and it's moving on. It's about to move on shore here in the next several hours, and you already have convection blowing up, and you can actually see a little bit of a swirl here. These typically can happen. This can happen fast. In fact, there is a chance by the time some of you guys watch this video that this will already be a done deal. Whatever area of low pressure has already moved on shore. So, if you're in Mobile, Pensacola, Florida, this is going to move right on top of you guys. And, all it's going to bring is probably some squally weather, gusty winds, and then some heavy rainfall. So it's going to be interesting here between now and probably the next 2 to 3 hours, how much this tries to strengthen before ultimately hitting landmass and weakening. And, obviously it can't weaken when it's over landmass. So, we'll look at the spaghetti plots or whatever you want to call them. And, this really isn't much to look at. This is the GFS ensembles, and basically it's telling us where this low pressure is going to kind of drift. And basically it's going to make a landfall here in the next few hours and kind of drift over areas of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. And honestly, all this is going to bring is just an increased area of moisture. So expect a lot of showers and storms overnight tonight for the panhandle of Florida, southern areas of Alabama, then into the overnight hours drifting into Georgia. And then I think tomorrow in South Carolina, North Carolina could see some nasty weather. Not talking about an outbreak of severe weather or anything like that, but there is going to be, in fact, I'll show you the latest HRRR model here in a second. There's going to be a chance for some, just squally weather for sure. You look at the plots as far as where that low pressure is, and it matches up relatively well. Now, in fact, this probably hasn't been updated. This low pressure is probably a little bit further north, probably on up here. But if you compare this with radar scope, that low pressure is probably right into here. But this is very interesting to watch. It's always fascinating to see these suddenly come together right before making landfall. We see this happen every single year. Sometimes we see it happen multiple times a year, where you just have this homegrown activity where you just got a surface trough that's basically stalled out and pops off convection. Latest HRRR model, which I'll remind you guys only goes out to 18 hours. We'll keep this rolling here. We're getting into probably around 10 p.m., 11 p.m., showers, storms, all as far north as Tennessee into North Carolina. But what you watch here is this area of moisture associated with its low pressure almost just kind of turns into like a line of storms. It's not really, you might see a little bit of a circulation on radar waking up in the morning in Georgia and Alabama, but really what this is going to do is this is for around 8, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. A lot of rain making its way into the southern Appalachians and the northern Georgia. And then eventually daytime heating will occur in the Carolinas. And this can in fact be a nasty little line of storms starting to make its way into around Augusta, Georgia, starting to creep into the upstate of South Carolina and central South Carolina, and all the way extended all the way down to the panhandle of Florida and going through central Georgia. So this could be some nasty weather for South Carolina and bordering states tomorrow. I really think it will. In fact, you look at the latest long-range HRRR model, and this is always updating hourly, so it looks a little different. But in general, it shows some nasty weather for the Carolinas tomorrow, Georgia, and this will continue to drift throughout the evening hours all the way through eastern North Carolina. So this is going to bring some moisture for sure. And in fact, you look at the National Weather Service between now and Tuesday evening, it shows widespread anywhere from Alabama all the way into southern sections of Virginia. A few inches of rain is possible. So we really need the rain in the coastal regions of the Carolinas and Georgia. So hopefully y'all will get the most. But if you need water, if you need natural water, and you need rain on those gardens or flowers, you're going to get it this week, I think, for a majority of the southeast, the Carolinas and Georgia, really over the next 24 hours, I'm thinking. So as far as strengthening sea surface temperatures, there really isn't much to look at. Around where the low pressure is, the sea surface temperatures are probably around 80 to 82 degrees. But really, you're just not going to get any rapid intensification. So one last look at this system right here. It's got a nice little spin to it. Hopefully this will get rolling here in a second. I guess it's not, but heck, without even it moving, I mean, you can see it wrapping a little bit. So it's getting to that time of the year, guys, where you get little systems like this. I mean, it looks like a little baby storm, but it's getting that little shrimp look to it. So this will make landfall in the next several hours. So expect some squally weather if you're in Mobile, Pensacola, and here it goes starting to move a little bit for you guys. Definitely expect some squally weather, for any late evening activities and things like that. So that's all I got, guys. Really, I don't want to hold you up too long talking about this. This is kind of a now thing. But it's very interesting for sure. So God bless all y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll have you an update in the morning, and stay safe.